Hey guys, thanks for checking out Power Play Picks. We're going to go over tonight's slate, October 19th. First game on the list, Colorado-Washington. Colorado gets McKinnon back tonight, so huge boost for them. Looking at the numbers, Colorado with the advantage in Corsi, slight advantage in expected goals for, slight advantage in scoring chances and high danger chances. In net, we have Kemper and Samsonov. Samsonov with the better expected goals against, but Kemper with the better goals saved above average. Samsonov had a down year last year. He's sitting at negative 0.3 goals saved above average. And our final stats, we got the edge going to Colorado. Looks like it should be a high scoring game, so the over is worth consideration as well. Second game, Dallas and Pittsburgh. Dallas off to a slow start. I think this is going to be their fourth game on the road in a row. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, they don't have Crosby or Malkin, but they seem to be gelling together. They're winning games, scoring a lot of goals. When we look at the data, Corsi is in Dallas's favor. Slight edge in expected goals for Pittsburgh. Slight edge for Dallas in scoring chances and high danger chances. In net, we have Jerry and Holtby. Jerry is the better goalie here. Holtby with a pretty high expected goals against and a bad goals saved above average. I have mentioned before, though, we're still going to need to wait for more data on Holtby playing with the Stars now that he's with a more defensive team compared to past teams, Vancouver and Washington. When we get to the final numbers, we have the edge with Pittsburgh. Third game, Florida-Tampa. We know Kucherov is out for Tampa. Tampa also off to a slow start with the Cup hangover. Florida has the edge in Corsi, expected goals, scoring chances, and high danger chances. And they're starting Spencer Knight, who had tremendous stats last year in a limited amount of time. Vasilevsky is obviously very good at home, so could go either way. It's a tight line. And final numbers, we basically have this identical. Looks like a 2-2 game that could go to overtime. We'll see what happens. The under is definitely a great play here. Third game, San Jose, Montreal. Montreal hasn't been able to find their game yet, and San Jose is, they did win their last game, but it's hard to know what we're going to get with them this year. They have a lot of new people in their roster. Significant advantage in Corsi for Montreal, a nice advantage in expected goals, scoring chances, and slight edge in high danger chances. In net, we have Hill versus Allen. Allen with the better expected goals against, but Hill is above average in goals saved. Allen is below average at home. And when we get to the final numbers, Montreal with a slight advantage. Seattle, New Jersey. Seattle still on this long road trip. Fifth game on the road, I believe, and this is a back-to-back. They just got blown out by Philly last night. New Jersey's only played one game so far, and they look like they got a pretty good squad there. They are going to have the advantage in Corsi, slight advantage for Seattle in expected goals, and the advantage for Jersey in scoring chances and high danger chances. Looking at the goaltending matchup, I'm assuming Seattle's going to start Drieger here, seeing as Grubauer started the last 4 games and got lit up last night. Bernier came away with the win last game. He's got a pretty high expected goals against, but both goalies are above average in goals saved. Final numbers, slight advantage to Seattle, but I don't think I'd be able to bet them here tonight. I did take them against Philadelphia, and it was a terrible bet. New Jersey, they're home, they're fresh. I think they should take this game. Vancouver, Buffalo. Vancouver is going to have the edge in Corsi. Buffalo, surprisingly, slight edge in expected goals. Vancouver slightly ahead in scoring chances, and Buffalo ahead in high danger chances. Looking at the goaltending matchup, Demko versus Craig Anderson. Craig Anderson beat Montreal 5-1 the other night, and he's got good numbers at home. I don't think Buffalo is out of this game. I won't be picking them personally. I think I'm going to avoid this game. Final numbers, we have Buffalo ahead here, so who knows what could happen in this game. I think everybody in the world was picking Montreal to beat them in their first game, but Buffalo did really well, so the same thing could happen to Vancouver. You never know. Columbus and Detroit. Columbus is going to have the advantage in Corsi. Detroit, advantage in expected goals for. Slight advantage for Columbus in scoring chances. Slight advantage for Detroit in high danger chances. So this is pretty tight across the board here. Goaltending matchup. Korpisalo going to get his first start of the season. Greiss in net for Detroit. Greiss looking like the better goalie here, and he did win his most recent game. Korpisalo 2 years ago had a solid year. Last year really down, negative .44 goals saved above average. I don't like Columbus in this spot. And when we look at the final stats, we have Detroit with a significant advantage here. And this game looks like it's going over. So another thing to consider for sure. Los Angeles versus Nashville. Nashville with the advantage in Corsi. Expected goals for, scoring chances for, and high danger chances. Looks like Peterson and Saros are going to get the starts. Saros hasn't had a great start, but he's got phenomenal underlying numbers. 2.4 expected goals against and a .72 goals saved above average at home. Peterson is another solid goalie. His expected goals against is pretty high because he's been playing on a poor Los Angeles team the past couple seasons. But Los Angeles looks like they've improved this year. He's also got a .13 goals saved above average. Final numbers, pretty significant advantage for Nashville here. And looks like the under is also possible to hit. Islanders and Chicago. Chicago off to a horrible start. Look, their defense hasn't improved, even though they picked up Seth Jones. They just don't look good. Slight advantage for Chicago in Corsi. Slight advantage for the Isles in expected goals for. And the Isles are also going to have the advantage in scoring chances and high danger chances. Pretty close matchup here with Sorokin and Fleury. Fleury has not been performing to these numbers. Remember that these numbers are over the past year, and Fleury was playing with Vegas in front of him. So I don't think we can trust these numbers. Sorokin also has been off to a bad start this year. So I'm not sure how this game is going to go. I mean, it's definitely possible Chicago gets their first win of the year. Final numbers, we have Chicago with the slight advantage, but I'll be staying away from this game. Next game, Winnipeg, Minnesota. Winnipeg has Wheeler out tonight. Apparently he's in the COVID protocol. Minnesota has gotten off to a decent start so far this year. They look like they're a solid team. Slight advantage for Winnipeg in Corsi. Minnie's going to get a pretty significant advantage in expected goals for. They're also going to have the advantage in scoring chances and a significant advantage in high danger chances. Goaltending matchup, Hellebuck and Talbot. Hellebuck looking for his first win. Talbot has played stellar so far this year. Hellebuck has the worst expected goals against. He's almost up to 3 now, 2.88. Talbot, solid expected goals against, 2.28. Difference here, Hellebuck, 0.24 goals saved above average. Talbot, surprisingly average, at home. So maybe this is the game, Winnipeg gets their first win. I think it's going to be tough with Wheeler out. He's a big part of their team. This looks like a close game, though. Minnesota with a slight edge when we include the goalie stats. And last game of the night, Anaheim-Edmonton. Anaheim pulled out a huge victory over Calgary last night, 3-2 in overtime. I was on Calgary, very surprised Anaheim kept it close. Edmonton, we all know they got all the scoring power in the world. Anaheim is going to be on a back-to-back, so tough to see them winning here. The line is massively favoring Edmonton, -300, Anaheim +250. Edmonton's going to have the advantage in Corsi for, advantage in expected goals, scoring chances, and high danger chances. Interestingly enough, Stolar is going to get the start because Gibson played last night, but the interesting point is how good Stolar's numbers are. That being said, it's in a limited amount of starts. So we don't have a ton of data on him, but so far he's looked good. Last game he played, they lost 2-1 to Minnesota, and Minnesota scored with 7 seconds left in the game. So he stood on his head for Anaheim. They got completely outshot, and he played well. Smith continuing his great year last year. He's got a 2.47 expected goals against and a 0.25 goals saved above average. Looks like the under is a possibility here. I'm not sure how tired Anaheim is going to be, and hard betting an under when you got McDavid and Draisaitl on the other side. So I'll probably stay away, but the goaltending stats look good. And because of Stolar's his 0.88 goals saved above average, it does give Anaheim the edge. I mean, anything's possible, but I just don't see him doing it on a back-to-back. But hey, they were able to beat Calgary last night. So you never know. I definitely wouldn't be betting Edmonton money line at -300. So that's it for tonight's slate. If you're interested in checking out my picks, contact me on Twitter. My information is in the description below. And if you're getting any value out of these videos, subscribe. I'm going to try to get one out every day before game start. Thanks.